Realty Rundown, the podcast that cuts through the noise of the real estate world. Your hosts, seasoned industry experts Nick and Nate, are here to guide you through the entire process. Each week, they're breaking down the latest market trends, decoding complex jargon, and sharing insider secrets you won't find anywhere else. Whether you're buying your first home, selling a property, or building an investment portfolio, we provide the clear, actionable advice you need to make your next move your best move.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Realty Rundown from the Nic Wyse team at RE/MAX Results. I'm Nic Wyse.
And I'm Nathan Schwartz, and today we're talking about something that's getting a little bit more attention lately, federal incentives aimed at increasing homeownership.
Yeah, specifically, we're going to talk about what's being discussed in Washington, D.C., what realtors are pushing for, and what this could realistically mean for buyers and sellers.
Yeah, so Nick, let's start with the big picture. Why is homeownership suddenly back in the national conversation?
Yeah, really, because right now, again, affordability is stretched. Inventory is once again tight, and first-time buyers are struggling more than they have in recent years. So homeownership has always been tied to economic stability. Policymakers realize this, and they realize that if fewer people can buy homes, that has ripple effects that go out everywhere. And that's why we're seeing these lawmakers, including our Congressman Rudy Yakum, and organizations like the National Association of REALTORs, having open conversations about these incentives to help buyers get into homes and to free up more inventory.
Yeah. So when you talk about incentives, what exactly are we talking about?
Yeah. So a few major ideas are on the table right now. So we've got tax incentives or tax credits for first-time or owner-occupant buyers. So again, not necessarily looking for more investors. Owner-occupant is the key word here, and first-time buyers. And we've got some down payment assistance and support programs that we're looking at. Incentives that are encouraging investors to sell their homes back into owner-occupied markets, which has got a bunch of different angles. We're not going to get too deep in the woods on that, but there's a bunch of opportunities out there right now to try and get those investors to get off those homes and stop renting them out and sell them to owner-occupants. And then, of course, policies that reduce friction for sellers who want to list, but they feel stuck. So the goal isn't to inflate prices, it's to increase access.
Yeah, so some at the National Association are talking specifically about encouraging investor sales. Why is that so important?
Yeah, so many shares of single-family homes are now held by investors. Again, I don't want to get too deep into it, but there are literally like in areas, and it's coming here. It's been here a little bit, but especially around Indy, bigger cities, some of the suburbs. I mean, you'll have one investment group, a big monolith that will buy up literally an entire subdivision, 300 homes. Boom, they bought them all. Now you got a whole subdivision full of rentals. So NAR, the National Association of REALTORs position is that even if a portion of those homes come back onto the market, into the owner-occupant market, it would immediately improve supply, especially for those first-time home buyers. So this isn't an anti-investor thing. It's more about creating balance. Investors are still going to win. They're not going to sell these homes for a loss, but they managed to recoup their money in net income over the time they've owned it and renting them out. And they're also going to be able to obviously sell them for more than they paid for them. So when everyday buyers can't compete, the market loses its foundation.
Yeah. So Nick, tell me, is the government trying to tell people how to buy houses now?
No, and that's a misconception that's pretty common. I think, Nate, I know you're kind of in this camp too, like, hey, government, stay out of our pockets. Like, we don't want you to run the show. They're not saying here's how to buy a house. They're saying let's remove some of the roadblocks that we accidentally created. Accidentally or not, they definitely created them. So right now, buying a home feels a little bit like running a marathon where while you're still carrying your groceries and you're going uphill and you're in the snow.
Yeah, and someone keeps moving the finish line.
Yeah, exactly. It's really hard to get there. So these incentives aren't shortcuts. They're more like guardrails. So we've got a situation where we want more people in more houses more expediently.
Yeah. So let's talk real world impact. What should buyers take away from this?
Yeah, first, so don't wait around for a magic program to save you. That's one thing I want to tell everybody up front. Don't sit around and be like, well, I'm going to wait until these programs start. The government moves slowly. Second, understand that help may be coming, especially for first-time buyers. So if incentives are implemented, they can improve your affordability at the margins, help with your upfront costs. That's a biggie, obviously. And then to me, the no-brainer is that we've got to create more inventory for people to choose from. So for buyers, it's really about being aware and being prepared. Matters more than timing right now. If you are prepared and you are aware of the situations, you're going to be ready to buy.
Yeah. So what about for sellers?
Yeah. And sellers, this is still good news for sellers. It could obviously mean more buyers being qualified, which increases demand. especially for the well-priced, move-in ready homes that we harp on all the time. If policies encourage investors to sell, owner-occupant sellers may face less competition from these larger portfolios, which levels the playing field for everybody.
So we're not getting a free House Friday anytime soon?
No, I don't think so. Still got to qualify, still got to make payments. The American dream still requires a credit score.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But to sum it up, guys, federal incentives are about access, balance, and keeping homeownership attainable, not about controlling the market.
Exactly. Homeownership is still the cornerstone of financial stability for a lot of families. Policymakers are finally getting to the point where we're treating it that way again. So we love it. We want to see more of this. Thank you, Congressman Yakum. He's doing a great job. He's actually one of the people leading the charge for this. He understands how important real estate is to his constituents, and he listens. So, all right, guys, that is episode 52 of the Realty Rundown. If you have any questions about how these conversations in Washington, D.C. could affect your plans, whether you're buying, selling, or investing, please do reach out to the Nic Wyse team. Until next time, Nic knows.
And Nate knows too.
That's right. And Wyse replies. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
And that's a wrap on another episode. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you had as much fun as we did. We love sharing real estate insights, but as you can see, we also love to have a good time. This energy and passion is what we bring to every client. Buying or selling a home is a huge deal, but it doesn't have to be stressful. With the right team, it can even be fun. Ready to make your move? Let's connect.